All right. Good evening, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline Podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm here with my co-host, the MOD Uptown. What it do, fam?
Everything ain't nothing. uh,
Well, Who That
yeah.
Nation, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday night. You know, we got this grinding work week ahead of us, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna grind it out. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. We're gonna go ahead and get to the comment section, and then I'm gonna give a rundown on how the show is gonna be. I see JT in the building,
I see my boy JT in the house.
and I see the OG Jerry in the building. Shout out to
What's up,
Jerry,
Jerry?
and y'all know how we do it, man. As the
Oh, my
comments
dog.
roll along.
That's my dog right there, man. That's my dog, bro.
Oh, okay. Six Ring said, "Okay, what up? What up, fam?"
That's Parks, man. You know that's my dog, man. That's my dog. You understand what I'm saying? That's my diggity dog right there. Yeah.
And shout out to where you hiding. Said, "Sup, Saints fans? Where y'all hiding, y'all?" Oh well, man, we grinding, man. We grinding. I think this is my first time seeing you on here. If so, man, welcome. But shout out to you. Nah, we not high. We here, fam.
Yeah, we here, fam. We out here. We out here. You heard me?
Bit fast. Okay, I see we got St. Louis in the building. DSX, the 1504. Shout out to you, fam.
We got Snake Bite. That's my dog right there too, man. What's up, Bite? What's up, Bite? That's my man
And we
right there.
got Hammond. Hammond in the building. Yeah, fam, agree. We definitely gonna get into that. Um, yeah, so that's basically how the show gonna run tonight. We're just gonna chop up this preseason. We're gonna get into some serious questions about where the team stands, and so forth. I do want to say this before we even get into it. Um, just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, and it's my opinion, and it got a lot of facts to it, man. I'm just talking about us Saints fans. I know it's preseason, but at some point, yeah, it's preseason. But at some point, it can get concerning if it went down the way it did Saturday. That's concerning. We can say all this preseason, this and that. It's just preseason. No,
Yeah,
the current standing that we're in as a team, in order to be a competitive team, you gotta have depth, and the depth did not show up at all. But well, we're gonna get into it. But yeah, this is preseason. You know, BS. I don't. We shouldn't be saying that Who That Nation. But if you want to say it, you can say it. But the facts is, man, we got some serious talk to do in a few seconds about our squad. So where you in the start, Uptown? What side you want? Let's. I think the offense is
yeah.
the
Let's
biggest
start on
elephant
that
in
side
the
of the
room.
ball, bro. I mean, it. Let's be honest, man. On both sides of the ball, it was a complete shit show. Okay,
Yep.
but after much consideration and sleeping on it for 24 hours and all that, and trying to access blame or culpability in the whole thing. I think that game Saturday was a referendum on our coaching. I put okay, the players is the ones out there playing. Yes, I know that. We all know that. Okay, that's no big secret. But I don't think that as far as the coaching is concerned, we should never be that ill prepared even for a preseason game. We just look really, really outclassed. I know it was a preseason game, but the Rams looked like they was way, way, way better than us. You understand? And it shouldn't even be that way, you know, for a professional football team. Now we can blame the interceptions on Zach Wilson, the pick six, on Spencer, the fumbling of the football at the 1-yard line, and all that stuff, but we didn't seem like we was prepared in the first place.
Facts.
And all this stuff, when people, remember I said it, CB, you cannot trust no Zach Wilson. Just last week, everybody was like, Zach this, Zach. Spencer sucks, Zach. Spencer sucks, Zach. Right? And Zach looked it horrible. And I'm like, my whole thing is this, right? And I had to tell somebody this. I'm going to be harder on Zach Wilson, who was like, I think the second overall pick that season?
Yep.
I'm going to be more hard on him rather than a 5th round pick, Spencer Rattler. You understand?
Agreed.
But with that being said, right, that interception that Spencer threw, bro, was asinine. Who was he going to? And I think on that play, I think Kendre was open in the flat and could have scored a touchdown if he threw the ball to him. They had 4 Rams in that area where Spencer threw the football at. That football was bound to get intercepted. He airmailed that. You understand? But this game, right, is a referendum on the coaching. I don't know if it's because of, because Kellen got kind of a laid-back style about himself. I don't know if that's the attitude that's being reflected on the team, because, most teams reflect kind of the attitude of whatever coach that they got. You see what I'm saying? Like when we had Sean Payton, this team oozed the attitude of Sean Payton.
Uptown. You mind if I cut you off right quick? My fault, man. Yeah. My fault. I just look. We got breaking news. The Saints are sending veteran linebacker Deion Jones to San Fran in exchange for running back Zamir White. Just want to put that out there. So Zamir White, I'm not too familiar with him. You may be.
No, I'm gonna have to look him up and see what's up with him. And I'm not surprised by that, because dudes fumbled the ball, and I did see Devin Neal go out again with an injury. Shouts out to T Mama, by the way. You understand? I did see Devin Neal go back out with another injury, and it looked like the same hamstring injury that it seemed like he's been bothered by, ever since last season. So I'm not surprised by that. So, it is what it is. And you know what? Let me tell you the most disturbing, should I say disturbing, or no, that's not the right word to use. One of the most frustrating things about that game Saturday was, number 5 played, bro. Did you see him?
Yep.
He looked fabulous. He always do that to us. All the time. Boy, number 5 looked damn good, bro. I'm just thinking, if that's the first string line that he running behind and all that, man, he would have looked awesome. But we can't trust number 5, bro. You understand? I don't trust him as far as I can see him, CB. I don't, man. But number 5 looked it damn good, bro. He was one of the bright spots of the whole damn game, to be honest with you. Because everybody who played well last week didn't play well this week. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear the Hellman name called. Emerson gave up some plays this week. He nearly gave up a big touchdown. I think that ball was overthrown. You understand what I'm saying? Who else played well? Jordan Price. I don't know if he played well or bad. I didn't hear his name, much of the day. So sometimes no news is good news, you know.
He didn't get exposed. He didn't get exposed.
Yeah. So that's about it, man. That as far as the people that played well last week, and we saw what Zach Wilson did. So everybody that played well last week didn't play well this week. And the troubling part about it is you're right. And somebody had to remind us that we haven't seen no starters this year. But that, what you said earlier, CB, that's the depth right there. What if something happened with the stars? Like, for instance, right? Emerson looked good. The first game didn't look. I ain't gonna say he looked like crap this game, but he didn't look like as dominant as he looked in the first game. He very well might be the one that have to play for Quincy Riley, who's injured right now, come the start of the season.
Yep.
So we need this dude to play better, than what he showed us, last Saturday. And like, I don't like to say what I'm about to say, CB, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Because really, theoretically, it shouldn't really matter. Okay, but the Rams, keep in mind, right? They were in the NFC Championship game last season. So that team was a good team. They led the league in scoring. Okay? So keep in mind, right, how much the high expectations are of the Saints. Okay? That Rams team is already good. Okay? We got to keep that in mind. And despite how people feel about their coach and all that, you understand, that team is well coached. All right? And they've been together and they got some type of chemistry and all that kind of stuff, working with them. That's what I say, man. Now, you can tell me your take on the offense or whatever, because I don't have much else to say. I mean, what else to say, man? We ended up with a donut. So
I'm kind of shocked. I'm not shocked by Zach Wilson because he ended up where he was for a reason. But for Spencer, I'm kind of shocked and disappointed. I hadn't seen the confidence because he was in a position. Yes, he lost the spot, but I believe the team would have been willing to work with him, giving him opportunity elsewhere. And we've been saying he showed potential last season. Even though he wasn't getting us over the hump, he wasn't the rear front. I mean, the forefront of why we was losing those games. For him to lose confidence like that, man, it's disappointing to see because you going out there with these backups and turning the ball over in the red zone. These is rookie second year players, maybe a few third or fourth year players. But these is backups out here, and you turning the ball over, dumb decisions like that. Like, far as this, trade partner, that stuff dead now. I mean, it's pretty much dead now. We gotta wonder: is you capable enough of being our backup? And I also got an issue with Tyler not just seeing a series. You got other starters that's seeing Tyler Shutt, he done good the last 8 games, but I don't believe he doesn't deserve the opportunity just to be able to set out the preseason, not playing. I know he's getting work, but it's a lot of new faces that's being brought in. You got you had Tyson for a minute, but you and Olave still getting that chemistry. You got Vele. Now you gonna have some young receiver. I don't know who it's gonna be in that rotation. You gotta build a chemistry with. And I know he get work in practice, but we want to see him as Saints fans at least a drive or two in the preseason. And I'm pretty sure hopefully he gets it the third preseason game, but it was definitely disappointing on Rattler's behalf. But as far as the running back position, Devin Neal, it's not looking good for you, man. It's not looking good for you. You was drafted in the 6th round last year, so your your window was very small, not due to your potential, but just due to where you were selected. And you had Kendre on the roster. Then as we went through, you was out with that hamstring. Estime, he got in the picture. Now Estime is in the picture. I know he's banged up a little bit, but he's in the picture. Then you got Kendre. Ty Chandler is playing okay. I mean, these other names is ahead of you, and now you don't went out again with a hamstring injury. I don't believe you will get cut, but you definitely not making the 53. You'll be on the practice squad, but that's disappointing to see from him. And like you said with Kendre, man, Kendre, yeah, this is the aggravating part. And if just say if they don't decide to move forward with Kendre and he goes somewhere else, it's a great chance that he will end
I
up being
told you, bro.
productive. The
I told you
production is
that
there.
last week, CB. That
Yep,
he one of them kind of cats, bro. He one of them. I don't like saying it, bro, but he one of them kind of cats, bro. He probably gonna go someplace. I don't know, have an epiphany, get his stuff together as far as physically, and then next thing you know, we hearing about him rushing for 1,200 yards.
that's crazy. And
It's,
I just
it's
want
just
to read the wide receiver stats. Let me pull it up
yeah,
because the receivers that was out here playing, this is the rotation. Now you
yeah,
got Tyson out. It's only Olave and Vele, the for sure two. No,
yeah.
the view was, I mean, I believe the vision was to have Vele in the slot, big body slot receiver. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but we'll see. You got I've put out the names that's been getting some flame lately. Bud Means was a name that was getting some flame lately.
Mm-hmm.
One reception, 5 yards. The
Mm-hmm.
QB has a lot to do with that as well. So one reception, 5 yards. Bryce Lance 2 for 16. CJ Donaldson, the running back, had a good game receiving. Tyson Chandler 1 for 10. Them running backs, but Cropper, yeah, he had a solid game, 2 for 34. Really hadn't been hearing too much of him, but okay, like the Bud Means, the Bryce Lance, those are the names. I don't even see no other receivers on there that's like this in the mix other than those.
Yeah. No Barian Brown.
Yeah, Barry Brown. I think he
No,
was picked up.
no Trey Palmer.
Yep, and Trey Palmer played, didn't he? He was
He did.
returning. So yeah, man. I don't. We can look at the starters and say, "Ooh, we got the starters," but I just seen the comment. Shout out to the OG. Shout out to our OG man. He just put in the comment. JT. He said, "Remember Uptown. Um, we said this. The team is only as good as they reserves, and that's facts. Because the game of football, at some point, you're gonna have to rely on some of your reserves. You try to minimize that, but it's football. It's a violent sport, so it's gonna happen at some point. Now, I mean, so what we're seeing That's why I say we could sit here and say this preseason, and I know it's the Rams and stuff like that, but it's they backups. So when
Mm-hmm.
we was going to get it was starters and starters. This is backups. Backups out
Right.
here playing. You tell me the offense wasn't able to produce no points at all, at least 3 points. How
Mm-hmm.
many times did we get in the red zone? Twice. One was the Rattler pick six, 100-yard pick six, and I think the other one was Zach Wilson. So two
Yeah.
times we was in the red zones the whole entire game. That's just beyond ridiculous.
Then we was in the red zone and we had to fumble in the
Right,
red zone
right,
too.
right.
So like, these dudes, they not valuing the football. It was just, man, it was just like, I hope, like I say, I hope that they not being laid back or lackadaisical or something, because I don't know quite what Kellen Moore is like in practice. I don't know if he's a hard-nosed coach, that drives them, to get the most out of his players, and stuff like that. I don't know. We don't know. We ain't privy to what they like, in practice and stuff all the time. See a little something, but the little something that we see in indicative of what we can see throughout the full course of a whole practice. You understand what I'm saying? And like, when you're on the sideline sometimes, I've seen, and let me put not I, we have seen a coach that is more animated and vocal on the sideline than what we see. Not saying that this has to be his style, but sometimes you gotta put keep putting your voice in a referee's ear. You understand? That will help. Sometimes that will help them, or help, in certain cases, for us to get the benefit of the doubt. You understand? They may not be, oh man, we don't want this, man. We don't want their coach, screaming and yelling in my ear. You understand, and all that. Sometimes that do that, man. And unfortunately, I'm just being honest with you. You keep doing that kind of stuff. You keep doing that kind of stuff, to referees and all that. It can break them down in some cases. It could be favorable to our team. There ain't too many Tony Dungy, Todd Bowles type, that's really successful in the league like that. So I'm just hoping that's not what it is.
And I'm shocked. I'm shocked the way Kellen said that after you everybody not a rah rah in your face. I get that. I understand that. But you got to call a spade a spade. Now, if you can't do that, then man, the head coach, that's not a place for you. If you can't even call a spade, it looked horrible out there. To just say, it is pre no. God's supposed
Yeah,
to be hungry and gritty and ready to fight. That's what we supposed to be getting in the preseason. These young bulls supposed to be out there ready to fight,
you got to be
ready to
kind of,
fight for a roster
fiery about
spot.
it. You got to be fiery about it. You got to be, adamant about this is not the brand of football that we coach in here. This is not the kind of effort that we want to see out of our team. Those are the proper things to be saying at a
Yes.
moment like that. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just being laid back about it and all that. Now, first of all, let's talk about the defense. Okay, let's get that out the way, because we don't even need to spend a whole lot of time on that either, because there was virtually nothing going on there. I want to say this much too, right? Let me say this before to get entirely off the offense. I like some of the stuff that I seen from Jeremiah Wright. I did. Okay. I kind of honed in on him a little bit to see, what he was playing like. He is really good, man, at run blocking. I see that. I see once he lock into you, you're not. You understand? You're not going anywhere. That's a good thing. Um, I didn't really see him. He didn't. He does. He hasn't appeared to be such a liability. You know, on passing downs either, as I might have thought of what people suggested. But that is, he is going up against second and third team players too. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep that in mind. But he did not look as bad as one was suggested or whatever, man. He looked pretty good, pretty decent to me. He was pretty good. I mean, not pretty good. He was damn good in the run game, and he looks very, very massive and powerful out there. Now,
To me, it was just that one penalty was the only thing that
that was
stood out.
that was such bullshit.
Yeah,
That was bullshit. I don't agree with that. You understand that the whistle hadn't even blown yet, and I don't think that he went out of the realm. I mean, it wasn't way after the play. It was during the play, but I guess because of the level of aggression that it was, they felt the need to throw the penalty flag. I thought that was out of all the penalties that we got on Saturday, I thought that was a bullshit one. And speaking of penalties, we had a gang of them. I think we had 8 or 9 penalties. It resulted in
yeah.
90-something yards worth of penalties. You understand what I'm saying, bruh? You see that? That's why I say coaching, CB. That is exactly what was happening to us last season. Damn penalties, not being, prepared and playing with discipline. That's why, man, I'm not really looking so much, and then this on offense and defense. I am not looking so much at the players and how they played. I'm looking more so at the coaching in this game and how ill prepared that we were, despite the fact that this was a preseason game. You understand? Now you take those 12 penalties, okay, that we have, right? You take the 12 penalties, which was 100 damn yards. That's like, almost going to touchdown, those penalties. You take that and the 12 penalties, and what more can you say, man? Okay. No matter what we say, this was some terrible coaching. They got out coached. We should be thankful that this was a preseason game. You understand? Because the team, we wasn't prepared. They wasn't motivated. You understand? They look like, like they was running in sand most of the time. On defense, right? We look awful against the run. I mean, awful against the run. And we kept allowing them to run the same damn plays on us and be
Hunter,
successful.
Hunter got off.
You understand? It was a damn shame. And that is something too, right? That we can go back and talk about what happened last season. Because remember, last season, we started off the season awful against the run. We got better as the season went along, considerably better, but we started off, slow with that, right? That coaching was terrible, man. Um, Kellen needs to provide a spark, and like we're gonna see what this whole thing look like, next week. I'm hearing that that the first team and all that supposed to get a little work, okay, and they're gonna be going up against Dallas, so they do have some incentive too in this game because of the nature of the fact that they don't like us and we don't like them, and we was fighting the whole damn joint practice session. You knew how that went. Um, we was brawling with them. We was fighting them the whole while. So that might give them some incentive because they don't like Dallas. So they might go out there, and put on even though it's the preseason, put on a Sunday best and try and embarrass Dallas or something like that, or show Dallas a thing or two. So we're gonna see how that go, bro. But the coaching was terrible, bro. The execution was terrible. We had no discipline. We couldn't stop the run. That's a lot of stuff for this coaching staff to put on film and in people's face. You understand? And let them know. I heard somebody say that the coaches should just burn this film and call it a day. No.
Can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
We might have to be relying on a lot of these guys.
If
They burn no tape.
the reason why we can't do that is because we're in training camp, and training camp is an area or time that that for corrective instruction. Okay?
Right.
So we don't need to be sweeping nothing under the rug. They need to swallow this. They need to get in front of the tape. Everybody need to look at the things that they did wrong. The coaching staff need to look themselves in the face and look at how ill prepared that they had this team, so that they won't make that mistake during the course of the season. Everybody need to take and come to grips with this. Don't run away from this. If I heard that that's what Kellen did, he just called this an aberration, and that was this, that, and the third, I'm gonna be pissed, because this is a classic time, for people to be getting some corrective instruction. So it is what it is, man.
I do want to
guess
shout
that's all I
out
got to say
Jalen
about
Price.
that right quick. Maybe if some people got a few questions or whatever.
I want to shout out Jaden Price. Jaden Price, despite of what the defense was looking like, he didn't get exposed, and I'm liking that. I want to do I think I'm gonna do an all 20. My schedule gonna be big. I'm gonna try to fit in an all 22 on him, because I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. For the 100th time coming from me, man. The DB is my kryptonite, my nightmare, because the ones that's penciled in as a starter, I don't even know how that's gonna work. So then, if they are better than what we're seeing now, it's just, oh my goodness. But I mean, he didn't get exposed. I do know Emerson, they target him a lot in those first couple of drives. So I don't know what they were
Now,
saying
now,
from him.
now I'm gonna say this about Emerson, CB. I'm not gonna sit down here and say that he had a bad game, but I'm also
Right.
not gonna sit down here and say that he had a good game, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
You understand? He had an average game, and like average ain't good enough. you know,
Right.
because I did see him make some plays Saturday, but there were some plays that he just quite, didn't make, and he left it out on the field. So I want to say that much about him. But in lieu of the Quincy Riley groin injury, may have him out for like 3 weeks or so. Somebody, and I mean somebody, going to have to step up, and they're going to have to step up immediately because we may go into the first at least 2 to 3 weeks or so without Quincy Riley. Now, who's going to be the next dude or whatever? And it's so disappointing, bro, because Quincy Riley had been playing well in camp, and him and Kool-Aid was looking like they was developing some type of, chemistry back there as cornerbacks. So, it's going to be tough, man, and plus, this is his second year and all that. Scientist, man, that dude there, man, we have to, bro. We need to. We just got to cut him, man. I think I done seen enough, man. I done seen enough. I done seen enough of him, Scientist. I done seen enough of him. I don't, man. If I see his number is number 27.
Yeah, I seen him out there.
I'm tired of seeing 27 get beat. You understand? And you would think that he would be playing better too, because remember, 27 was a starter. He started for us last season. But he ain't looking too good.
Snakebite said we need a kicker ASAP. Snakebite, I'm even shocked we're having this conversation because I thought Charlie Smith, when he was making those kicks last season, I thought that kind of solidified his spot. But I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what's happening to where these people is not being confident about themselves. You losing confidence. You getting complacent. Like what's going on?
Bro, look. You see that, man? That's a problem too, Scientist. That's a problem, bro. That kicker thing, man. That's I don't know who said that.
Snakebite.
That's a problem too for us, Snake. That's a problem, bro. That's a huge problem too. And that's something that we really need to be paying attention to. Because as y'all know, right, last season, right, we sucked at special teams. The Saints was not a good special teams team. We wasn't good on special teams at all last season. We wasn't good in the return game. We wasn't good really at stopping, opponents' kickoffs and punts. We wasn't good at ours. You understand? I was encouraged by our punter. Our punter punted his ass off Saturday. He acted a fool. You understand? He did much better than what he did the first week, because the last week he shanked one right off the side of his foot. We get a punter that we paying that kind of money to. He ain't supposed to be sinking no punts. But with that being said, Saturday he punted his ass off. Oh yes, he did. Oh yes, he did. But that's just one aspect of the special teams that showed up. We needed all to show up. Last week, the return game showed up because we almost took the first kickoff to the house last week. This week, the punter played well, and the kick return and punt return wasn't so great. And the kicker sucked. And the kicker sucked last week too. And we was wondering why. Everybody wondered, because I was wondering why. Why bring in somebody, to compete with Charlie Smith? Now I see why. I see Kelly just didn't have that much confidence in him, and I don't know if he lost confidence because they brought somebody in, to compete with him. Because if he did, then you really suck. You understand? Competition should make you thrive
Right.
rather than get worse. Man, the whole as everything failed us Saturday. Everything. The offense, the defense, the special teams, and I'm going to say, especially the coaching. And I put all the blame of this on the coaching. We got to do better at that. These people need to be more prepared. This team need to be motivated. And if they aren't motivated, they should have the coach that can get them motivated throughout the course of the game.
Because it doesn't help. It doesn't help if from a preseason game you don't even see you go in a preseason game and you don't even get a takeaway like what could potentially be on our 53-man roster. Even though I shouted out Jaden Price, he didn't make any standout plays. But like I said, he was solid. He didn't get exposed. But nobody Saturday made any type of play to say like, oh, this guy got a chance to lock in on the 53. So
Mm-hmm.
we shouldn't
Not
be
not even number
having
5.
those takeaways.
Not even number 5, because number 5 is he always injured and stuff. Let me ask the T Mama question, right? Um, yes, I do feel like I'm gonna put it like this, right? I think we probably should. Okay, would we? That still remain to be seen. I'm not gonna, even though how awful, we looked last Saturday. The one caveat is that we haven't seen this kind of play, from our first stringers. You know, that's the one caveat. But I can say that while saying this too, because remember, two things can be true at the same time, right, CB?
Right.
You understand? I'm also concerned about um, our coaching and getting people prepared and motivated now, more so than what I was at the beginning of the season. I'm concerned about that because you can have good players and all that, but if you don't have them better, if they're not prepared the right way and they're not motivated, what good is that going to do? You see? So like, I'm more concerned about the coaching staff at this point than I think I ever been. Because you were thinking stuff, it's the second year that although it's a preseason, people will be motivated enough to go out there and play for you, and keep in mind, these are people, players who are literally on the bubble of some of these players.
Yep.
So you would think that they would be more motivated, to try and come in and show their Sunday best, if you will. But again, I say, man, that was coaching. I put 95% of the blame on that, on coaching, and the players get the other 5% to me. Just like that. So we gotta see T Mama. Make sure when you get a chance, CB, I tried to do it on my end. I couldn't do it. Make sure the lady get a wrench.
Oh yeah, for sure. T Mama,
You know
I
what I'm
don't
talking
have
about?
I don't have an answer for that yet. I mean, when Tyson was When Tyson was in the lineup and he was given, a little snippet in practice, offensively, I felt like that was going to open things up for other guys, along with Olave and Tyson possibly getting open. I believe a loss like that, I don't know how the other receivers is going to respond. Even Vele, I don't know how those guys are going to respond from a receiving standpoint. So, if teams want to try to take Olave out the game, who else is going to step up?
Yeah, man,
I
that's a
don't
big
know.
concern. That's a big concern, and now, and something, bro. And this is not we didn't think about it, bro. But now it's starting. It's starting to be. We overlooked this little thing that we overlooked. I ain't gonna even say it's a little thing that we overlooked, but now it's starting to be kind of a problem now. That Jalen Polk retiring thing, that seemed like it's a problem now. You see, who knows, man? Because I think Jalen Polk, will be the guy that we will be playing over there definitely. Since Tyson, got injured. Because I don't want them. Please don't do it, Kevin. Do not take Vele out of the slot. I think Vele will eat and eat and eat and eat again in that slot. I don't want them to move Vele over to the outside. I just don't want it, CB. You understand? Somebody else should be able to man that other side, bro. And we should be able to keep Vele, because Vele proved to me last season that he is dangerous in that slot.
So
You understand? Them dudes can't handle a big body like him. You understand what I'm saying? And the speed that he got in that slot. You understand? So somebody, I even asked JT last week about this. JT know I asked him too, right? It's concerning. Bud didn't look too well Saturday.
no.
You understand? And he would be my number one candidate for that slot. You understand? I don't think I would want Trey Palmer over there. I don't think that Barion Brown is experienced enough to be over there. I don't think that Lance is experienced enough to be over there. You see, I don't know what we're gonna do over there, bro. I don't, and I'm. There's something that even though that's going on, man, I really do not want them to overreach too either, man. Don't go get no veteran that's just gonna slow down the offense in some kind of way or something. You know, I don't really I wouldn't mind a vet, but I don't want no quote unquote seasoned veteran or something over there, nothing like that. You understand? Just somebody, man, who's looking for a 1-year prove it deal type thing or something like that. You understand? Not trying to get no multiple contract or something like that or whatever. Or my best case scenario, what I wish would happen is that somebody who we got on the team to step up. That's what I'm hoping. So
Facts.
we're gonna see how that go. So where we at with it, CB?
That sounds that pretty much wrap things up. I mean, who that nation is still some more preseason left. We got one more game. I'm just disappointed we wasn't able to say, oh, this guy right here, be on the lookout for him. This is a guy that could possibly make the 50 three, or being certain names. That's what preseason supposed to be. That's why the starters set out the majority of it, because you want to see certain names that's fighting to get on the team to show face, and nobody showed face Saturday. So yeah, that pissed me off. I'm pissed off about that. But it starts
Scientists,
with
I
the
think we
coach,
do have
Kellen
money.
Moore. Kellen
I,
Moore, he don't. It sounds like he don't want nobody on the freaking team.
yeah.
He's saying this preseason, so I mean that he gonna have to get a little fire lit, and call a spade a spade. How do you feel about Kellen? I mean,
Let me tell scientists something. You say we don't have any money. That's actually not true, scientists. When that deal that we signed Olave to actually helped us out on the salary cap for this season. I think Olave only counting about $1 million and something on the cap for this season, and that freed up about $12 million or so, if I'm not mistaken, for us. So we got a few dollars to play with if we need to. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even the issue. You understand? The issue is, who the hell do we go get if we go after a wide receiver? You know, we got money to do whatever we want. Y'all should know better than that, bro. Y'all should know better than that. The Saints always got money. We always can twerk it, bro. We always can twerk it. You understand? We known for that. People was jealous of us being able to do the kind of stuff that we can do. And now that we don't have no big heavy contracts and all that, yeah, we can twerk some money if we need to sign somebody, bro. This is New Orleans Saints, and we got Kai on Farbar too, bro. We got a cat that's doing our cap that's a damn genius. So we got money. You understand? It's just that who the hell we go get? Who's gonna fit in with us and all that? What we don't want to admit, bro, is Jalen Polk retiring hurt us.
facts.
That hurt us. You understand? I don't want Brandon Ayuk, bro. I think Brandon Ayuk quit on his team. I don't want no player like him around the Saints. I
Yeah,
think
that's a
he's a potential locker room cancer. You understand? His teammates in San Francisco don't like him.
yeah, that's crazy. I don't know why did he do what he did, like
After
on
he
doing
after he
the
got
IG stuff.
after they broke bread with him too, CB. After they broke bread with him and stuff, he goes that. You understand? Hey, let's not even put that in the atmosphere, T Mama. Leave that. Let's not say that. You understand? That would be the worst case scenario for us. You understand? If that happens, we finish. We totally finish. We done, 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 done. You understand? We cook like 3 pounds of damn crawfish at a crawfish boil if that happens. And you can throw in the corn and the hot sausages and all that stuff too with it. That's what happens if that so happens to us. Yeah, we cook like the big ass. You understand? Seafood City looking ass. You know, crawfish. If that happens, that's the answer to that question. But you know, we got to see what we gonna do, man. Y'all, we gonna be wrapping it up tonight. We ain't gonna take any calls tonight, but we definitely gonna take calls after we wrap up the next preseason game, because hopefully that game goes a little better. Number one, and number two, I'm hearing that we supposed to um, see a little glimpse of our first teamers as well. So let's hold our breath and watch that team and watch that game and all that kind of stuff, And when I say hold my breath, I mean make sure that everybody get out happy and healthy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But You know, we on top of it, y'all. Y'all know we the best tag team, you know, in Saints podcast, you know, out here in the Saints podcast. We on top of it. You dig? So we'll be getting back at y'all. We probably won't be hollering at y'all until afterwards. You heard CB say he want to do a breakdown of all 22. You understand, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna start coming on here too, especially when the season starts up. I'm gonna be coming on here a little bit more. You know, even if I got to come on here just by myself sometimes and kick it with the family. You understand? But you know, we'll be back at y'all. Y'all know how we do. We should, scientists, the Kyle chumps, the Kyle bitch ass. Yeah. All them little chumps. Little punk ass cowboys. You did?
Well, who that nation?
He was kicking
who
their
that
ass.
nation, man?
I don't know if you see that, CB. You saw that? You saw that, boy? We was kicking their ass.
Oh yeah.
we was letting them have it. We was letting them have it and stuff, man. Yeah, we was getting the best of them. The clips I saw, bro, we was getting the best of that ass. We was getting the best of that ass. You understand? But we'll see if they motivate. Okay.
We will see. Who that nation, man? I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see how things play out with the QB situation. I mean, Team Mama, we'll see how it plays out. I think, you know, we all kind of shocked because I thought Rattler was, if he wouldn't have got traded, he would have been a solid backup for us, but it's not looking like that. So we just kind of disappointing to see that. But got another preseason game. We'll see how things end out. Who that nation? Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the page. I mean, it's really do or die for a lot of players coming up this week. I don't know if they're gonna wait to cut down to the 53 or do it throughout the week. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I believe they're just gonna wait.
I think they're supposed to have some cuts, bro. Some cuts should be coming up soon, like a first round of cuts or something like that. You know, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to look that up. You know, CB. But I'm sorry. You can go ahead. You can.
No, you good. Yeah, because I wasn't sure how they was gonna do. I thought they changed it up, just doing one bit round. But however they do it, man. I just hope that Kellen Moore gets the right players on the team. I mean, I definitely hope that, and we'll just see how things play out. Kellen Moore get your young guys fired up, man. We're trying to get some depth on this squad, and hopefully guys start returning to the team before the season starts. Hopefully that Riley groin injury, the Strutzman injury, hopefully guys like that can return before the season starts. But in the meantime, coming up this week, I will say it's going to be a busy week for me. So I'm going to try to get something out before the finale preseason game. If not, then we'll just have something wrapping up that finale preseason game. And we'll kind of have our, takes and pretty much have a clear picture of who all is going to be making the 53, the ones that was fighting to get on the team. But you guys, please like, subscribe, follow the page. It's the WDN Chatline Podcast, and we out. Who that?
Who that, baby? Oh yeah, for life.